Here's the announcement. It's if you follow me on Instagram, you're already well aware.
Do you want like a drum roll?
Can you do a drum roll?
Sure. There you go.
You were far more coordinated than I gave you credit for. That's pretty good. Boom. So, what we're looking at here is my new pistol for IPSC for the 2020 season. It was provided to me by the Calgary Shooting Center. If you don't shop there, you are a communist. It is a Phoenix Redback. So some people had heard of the Sphinx pistol. So Sphinx was the company that these guys were before, and they've since switched over to Phoenix. They're made in Switzerland, and it is a CZ75 pattern pistol. So similar to a Shadow 2, or a Tanfoglio, but it is way more refined than the Tanfoglios, certainly way more refined than the CZs. This is the finest production pistol that I have ever held. I've yet to shoot it. It is beautiful. The fit and finish is amazing. This is a production optics gun, so looks very CZ-like, very Shadow-like, but just the fit and finish and the quality is way ahead of those guys.
Does it take Shadow parts? Like if you bust your slide stop, which happens a lot on Shadows, can you just toss a CZ75 slide stop in there?
No. I say no. I've yet to try. I believe there is some spring compatibility. I've been talking to some of the European Phoenix shooters. First of all, I want to talk to them because of magazines. So I was told it takes a proprietary magazine, which wouldn't make sense, right? There's some compatibility between. I'm holding up two magazines here. The one with the blue follower is a CZ mag. The chrome mag is a Tanfo mag. Well, guess what? They both work in this gun. Now, cool. I haven't fired it, but they both lock in and they both cycle dummy rounds, no problem. And they lock open, no problem. So I was a little concerned at first because the gun only came with 4 mags, and Jeff didn't know when the next order of mags from Switzerland would be in. So no problem. I had a Tanfo mag kicking around from back in the day, and I brought home a CZ mag from the shop tonight, and voila. So this pistol,
I'll just get a bunch of those CZ mags, because you can get the Mekar mags are like
that's what this is, buddy.
$34. Yeah,
I don't think they're $34. If you can find them for $34, please let me know, because
you can find them for cheaper if you find them on sale. I bought a pile for right around $34 each.
Where'd you get those?
I've got like 10 mags. Tenda, I think. Tenda.
They've
and
since gone up. I mean, maybe we overpaid when we bought them because they're $50 at my house.
So are they labeled CZ Shadow, and are they labeled CZ, or are they labeled Mekar?
They are labeled CZ75 Mekar, made in Italy.
Yeah, I can find them for cheaper than that.
All right. Well,
he's gonna Google for it while you talk.
Cool. So the gun is all steel construction, but the Phoenix Redback comes in regular, light, and ultralight. It's kind of got a the frame is modular, like on a STI 2011. The bottom of the frame comes off. But you can get this with a steel top, an aluminum frame, steel top, and polymer frame. So this one's steel, and it is the heaviest pistol I have ever held as far as an IPSC style pistol is concerned. Now, that being said, it weighs 2 pounds 14.7 ounces. Now to put that into comparison, Beretta 92FS. So if you don't know, the Beretta 92FS has an aluminum frame. It's very light, 1 pound 14.7 ounces. My 1911s, 2 pounds 7.3 ounces. My 357 Magnum, 2 pounds 9.3 ounces. This thing, 2 pounds 14.7 ounces. So can you say recoil mitigation? Like, I'm getting tired holding it. That's how freaking heavy it is. Some guys don't like a heavy gun. I love a heavy gun, especially a 9mm. It's not going to move. So it's going to be awesome. This one came with a Trigicon RMR red dot, because this is a production optics pistol. So for the listeners, production optics is a production gun with a red dot mounted to the slide that reciprocates with the slide. Unlike an open gun where the red dot stays static and does not move when the gun recoils, this travels with the reciprocation of the slide. It's mounted directly on the slide. The gun, the barrel length is 4.547 inches. The overall length of the gun is 8.31. The height is 6.06 inches. The width is 1.06 inches. Weight, they list the weight as 2.92 pounds. 2.92 pounds. I couldn't appreciate how much that was until I had it in my hands. Trigger pull. So right now, I think it could use some springs. Factory guns come with heavier than normal springs for reliability. When you start messing with that to tune it, you risk the chance of taking away the reliability. No one wants their gun out there with a reputation of not being reliable, so they tend to overspring them. So I don't know. This recoil spring is in the 12-pound range probably. I'll drop that down to a 9-pound. Or sorry, no, a 10-pound.
I'm running a 11 in my Shadow too, I think.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll probably go 10 on this to see how it performs. It has a built-in buffer. A lot of guys have to put an external buffer. Yeah, this one has a buffer built into it as part of the design. When you put a buffer in a gun, sometimes you run the risk of causing malfunctions. This was designed to work with a buffer, and it has its own internal buffer. The grip panels, you can change them. They've got what's that plastic? Or not that plastic? A G10. These are G10 grip panels.
Nice.
The texture is crazy. Watch this after I grip it. I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera or not, but
are you gonna have
holes on my hands? Yeah, my hands are now stippled.
Yeah, everyone puts those lock grips on their Shadow 2s, and that's G10. Same stuff.
Yeah. And so you can get the different profiles to make it fit your hand even better.
Mm-hmm. What's the checkering look like on the back and the front of the grip?
So what's amazing about the back is the checkering is on the, you ready for that? Mainspring housing. This gun uses a 1911 mainspring housing.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if you want to change your double action pull, you need to change your mainspring. So on the CZ pattern gun, you need to remove the sear cage and the safeties and the hammer and all that stuff to get to your mainspring. Not in this gun. It has a 1911 mainspring housing, which is removable just by drifting a pin like you would in a 1911.
Cool.
Amazing. The double action is right now 8 pounds, but super crisp. It doesn't stack. The single action is just over 3 pounds. It certainly doesn't feel like it is. The over travel screw, right now I'd like to maybe adjust a little bit, but I couldn't find an Allen key to work. I assume because this gun's in Switzerland, the screw is metric. I tried my metric Allen key and it didn't work. I tried my standard Allen key and it didn't work. It slipped and I was like, I'm done. Yeah, so I don't want to damage that screw, so I left it as is. It has, so some of the improvements over the Phoenix, the trigger guard is different. The Sphinx. The trigger guard is different than the Sphinx is. The slide serrations are different. The magazine release is extended and it's
pretty
threaded.
Pronounced.
Yeah. And Kelly, it's threaded for a button. So I always
cool.
run I run a button on all mine. So I contacted Jeff and asked him if he could track one down from Phoenix. I'm also going to email Phoenix directly. There's only one dealer for these pistols in Canada, and that is our sponsor, the Calgary Shooting Center, my sponsor. So if you need one, which you do, you got to go to these guys. This is the top production optics pistol. There is no production optics pistol better than this. Hands down. It's got
the little bit of grip on the upper left of the frame there. I'd imagine your left thumb is gonna grab onto that as you get your hand up.
Yeah. So they have stippling above the trigger housing, above the trigger guard on both sides. So right in front of your slide stop. And yes, that's exactly where my thumb contacts. And also, it's a nice tactile reference point for when I'm moving with the gun and I need to take my finger off the trigger and out of the guard. I can put it up there in the frame and I feel that texture under my finger and I know it's in the right spot.
Yeah.
People who take their finger out of the guard, but they do that, they put it across the guard to an RO on the fly. That looks like your finger's in the guard. You can get stopped with that. So you always run it up along the side of the frame so they can see light through the trigger guard. The safeties, ambidextrous. And for your strong side safety, if you're a righty, it is large and in charge and makes a perfect shelf to put your thumb on to keep it down, help mitigate recoil. And again, consistency in your grip because it's an anchor point. Your thumb is always in the same place, shot after shot. So, yeah, that's the initial review. It's super precise. It's incredibly well made. It's super heavy. It comes with a Trigicon. Doesn't get any better than that.
What's the suggested retail on it?
They are somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000. So, sound like a lot of money? Well, this is a serious pistol for serious competition. This is not your weekend warrior Glock. This is for somebody who's uber competitive or just wants to have the best of the best. Now, $4,000 sounds like a lot, but let's look at Tanfoglios. Sure, it's more than Tanfoglios, depending on the Tanfoglio that you get, but it's less than STIs. All the top STIs now are $4,000 plus. Okay, so it's more than a Tanfoglio, less than an STI, and then if you get into the creme de la creme of the classic 1911 guns and the 2011 guns, Infinity guns all day are $8,000. Is $6,000 to $10,000.
It's competitive with.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. So it's not the most expensive gun out there. So you say $4,000 for a pistol. Well, it's not a carry gun. It's not a Glock. It's a high-end competition pistol made in Switzerland. And you know what they say about things that are Swiss made? They're made incredibly precise, attention to detail. I've never been more impressed.
And you get to lord it over everyone with a CZ Shadow. You'd be like, oh, you've got one of those? Disgusting. That's for the poor. You've got one of those poor's guns. Hey, only
the poor's guns.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, Adriel.
Remember how the Shadow people used to talk to the Glock people? Now that's how I'm going to talk to the Shadow
Hey,
people.
Adriel, you and I both have shadows, right? Yeah.
Pardon me, though. I have a Shadow 2.
Yeah. So
you have Adriel's sloppy seconds. That's what you got. You got his
shut
Shadow.
up.
Shadow 1? Oh.
Shadow 1.
That's still a thing?
Yeah, it is.
But I got a really good deal. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got a really good deal from Larry, and then I sold it to Burns, and now I want it back. So I'm gonna get it back because I might put an optic on it to have as a backup for this.
Jeff Reese rocks, by the way.
He does. He certainly does. So